All right, and welcome everybody to the live stream. This is our weekly Wednesday live stream event. It'll be every Wednesday around 2 o'clock. We started a little bit late last week, so we're starting a little bit early this week. And we'll be talking about whether or not Fauci will face accountability, or do we truly live in a banana republic? That and much more. First, we're going to actually check out some weather stuff here at SNN. And we're actually looking at the visible satellite for once. We usually don't do that because we usually talk about meteorology when it's dark out. And yes, you'll find most of our content does indeed come out early in the mornings. So I'm going to step away, and I'll be right back with you once we get everything all set up. All right, so we are back. And so that's the question that I have for all you viewers out there. What is the deal? Are you now permitted to go in front of Congress and lie and then double down on it? Or is that just Fauci who is now permitted to do that? Hence the title of the video. Of course, today's live stream entitled, Will Fauci Face Accountability, or do we live in a banana republic? As the main feature of a banana republic is a justice system that does not apply to portions of society. Now, some of us may think that, well, the banana republic really started in 2016 in many ways, and I would tend not to disagree with that, because it sounds pretty legit. And of course, many interesting things occurred in the year 2016. Wouldn't you say? Enough things occurred in 2016 that it led to the year 2020, right? The year of clarity. And let's reflect on that year of clarity. Yes, 2020, the year of clarity. Did things suddenly become clear to you? All you viewers out there, did something become clear to you in 2020, year of clarity, that you may not have been aware of before? Did it cause you to wish for accountability in the year 2021? Do you think that a year of clarity ought to lead to a year of accountability? Well, we certainly do at smAsho.com. And check out the rapid cloud nucleation here off the coast of Jersey. Right there. Sudden cloud formations. Oh my God. And what's happening here is we're getting some, oh my God, it's a 9-pointed star. Watch out, folks. All right. We've got a bunch of dry, massive air coming down like this. And when this mixture happens, this is the mixture zone right here. When this mixture starts to happen, atmosphere wants to reach equilibrium, and you get sudden evaporation ahead of that dry, massive air. And you'll be able to see it here on the next slide. So the jet stream's sending some cold air down, and that's typically what causes strong systems. And we actually saw some hail in Pennsylvania here. So that was a hail of a time. I was not that thrilled. Smash staff came inside and said, I think it could be hailing. It was very mild. They came down lightly. That's the best I can explain it. Of course, they weren't large hailstones. And most of that storm actually missed us, but great view of the visible right there. Let's zoom in on this sudden cloud formation here. Since we're actually using the high-res visible satellite here, we can zoom way in. And there's actually two air masses mixing together here. You can see these wispy clouds up here are at a higher altitude than these cumulus clouds down here. And those higher clouds, those are part of the upper level high that's moving down as a result of the jet stream. Anyway, great view of some giant clouds forming there. And we've got lightning striking right where I'm located. Actually, well, close enough to hear thunder at least. And check it out. Pennsylvania getting peppered with some lightning right now. And let's see if that one shows up on the map. That one just to the west of the ABE airport. Oh, a bunch of new strikes coming in here. And we actually could be in the crosshairs of this one. Time to zoom in. I've actually got to look at the radar here for once. By the way, thanks to our patrons, before I continue on, patreon.com/smashomash is the URL. And we did send out a notification. Everybody leave us comments. If you're tuning in, thanks for leaving comments. Those who have, will be right with you. About those, we're actually going to zoom in here for once on the situation in the tri-state portion of the U.S. nation. Hopefully not a banana republic. Anyway, we did receive a severe thunderstorm warning. Don't be surprised if the power suddenly shuts off and this stream ends. Cable could go out also. You never know. Check out the nexus of that cloud right there. It's pretty sweet. That looks like Old Man Cloud Top right there. It's Old Man Cloud Top. And once again, that's what's going on in the water vapor. I know it looks completely differently. It's rapid evaporation. There's probably a bunch of hot water there. It is New Jersey, so there's certainly a lot of hot air there. And let's check and see. I'll bet you there's hot water there. What do you want to place a wager there? Anybody? You want to place a wager? Are you a betting man? Place a wager there. All right. So we watched a movie last night. Perhaps you've checked this out yourself. We watched Gotti, starring John Travolta as John Gotti, mob boss John Gotti. Yes, and there is some hot water indeed. And just south of it, some very cold water as well, which would be pressing down and pressing down onto this warmer water and causing it to disperse. Oh, anyway. Of course, because the Colder water wants to roll down the continental shelf. Roll down the continental shelf. All right, let me put your chats on the screen here. I see there are a number of comments. And we've decided to start banning people at random, Scott Adams style, yes. We're going to claim that masks and lockdowns and other non-pharmaceutical interventions are indeed effective, and then we're going to ban people. Yes, yes. How about some bans? Ha 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 ha. Just kidding, folks. We're not going to ban anybody. We might berate you, but we'll fight for your right to be able to say dumb things on our channel. Cheers. Not that anybody said anything dumb. No, no. We would never suggest that. There's a pretty high CAPE in some of those areas, which is the convective available potential energy from surface. No, I did not have that memorized. All right, let's move on to something else here. Now, this one is a YouTube Live exclusive. So the video is only appearing on YouTube, hence why I'm saying it's a YouTube Live exclusive. That's what we mean by the term exclusive, obviously. So there's that. And we're going to talk about some news stories, some horrifying news stories, where the highest paid government official, paid with your taxpayer dollars, you the viewers' taxpayer dollars, and perhaps even my taxpayer dollars, to pay Fauci to lie to Congress. Now, I noticed a pattern of fraud in, I believe it was December of last year. December of last year, there was a little narrative that happened, and it was following the lies about masks. So Fauci first lied about masks intentionally. He intentionally, and thanks for leaving comments, everybody. I'm displaying them on the screen. Fauci lied about masks. So that was the first thing. I noticed Fauci lied about masks because what he said was, you don't need to be walking around with a mask. Masks ain't no good there. There's no need to be walking around with a mask. Masks ain't nothing. It's not gonna provide the perfect protection that you think it's gonna cause there. It's not gonna be the perfect protection over there. And he was lying about it because he was trying to conserve masks for medical personnel. So there's lie number one. Lie number two came in the form of lying about herd immunity requirements based on a poll, and we'll get to that in a minute. First of all, everybody, check out our own website, and I would encourage all of you to check out Alt Tech. We're Alt Tech to the point where we built a giant web ring around our content and so forth. So I would recommend you check it out. We've got a giant forum here, and it's only getting bigger and better. But there's a forum you can check out, and thanks everybody who's been updating that as well. Cheers. It's all free right now. And one of the things you can click on here is the smAsho merch link. If you click on that, you'll find this page here. It's our Redbubble shop. And we dislike Fauci so much that we decided to make some products. So I'm going to read the Fauci quote here. I'm going to get to the all products page. If you click on all products, it'll show you all the things, not just the featured one. So the design says, get me off the screen so I'm not on the screen at the same time as this guy. When polls said only about half of Americans would take a vaccine, I was saying herd immunity would take 70 to 75%. Then when newer surveys said 60% or more would take it, I thought I could nudge this up a bit, so I went to 80-85. Did you get that? Based on a poll, he changed what he thought was required to reach herd immunity. So he heard a poll saying only half of Americans would take the vaccine, and he said, we're going to need 70 to 75% to reach herd immunity there. And then he heard a newer survey that said 10% more Americans would take it, 60% as opposed to 50. And then he thought, I can nudge this up a bit, so I went to 80-85. Just think about that. What is the reasoning? So because of the poll, more people needed to take the vaccine in order to reach herd immunity in the U.S.? Is that how it works? Does that sound like science? Is somebody fighting the science? Is it some kind of a pussy fluff statement? Did you hear that, Thunder? Some kind of pussy fluff statement that you're fighting the science if you're fighting Fauci, an admitted fraudster. So anyway, said every bureaucrat in history who's utterly ineffective and indeed doing harm as opposed to helping, said every bureaucrat of this nature, accountability for thee, but not for me. So I don't quite understand that. Shouldn't the highest paid people have the most accountability of anybody? You know, government officials who are paid $400,000 a year, a higher salary than the president. Think about that. Fauci has a higher salary than the president. Yeah. So, and now, of course, with the new one is that it's not actually gain of function research there. We didn't go around Obama's mandates to cease the gain of function research here in the U.S. It's not because of that at all there. That's not what happened here. Rand Paul, you just don't know what you're talking about. I just want this to be on record here because I haven't committed enough frauds in one day today. I just wanted it to be here on record here at the Smash News Network, least busted name in news. That Rand Paul doesn't know what he's talking about when he reads emails where I type the words gain of function research. And then I claim the research wasn't great gain of function research. He's molecularly confused. He doesn't understand the science. He can't read my own emails about it. I just called it great gain of function research because of reasons. I changed what I required for herd immunity estimates because it's complicated, you see, and all you stupid Americans, you can't read a science paper. It's impossible for you to access all the subject matter to obtain a degree for free online, right? In any case, we're sorry to inform you, the viewer, that many Americans are able to read scientific papers. And I just heard some more thunder, folks. And let me say something I say regularly on our videos. Lightning indeed does strike the same place more than once. What if there's a giant magnetite deposit underground that you're not aware of? There may be a lot of fulmarites being created, and don't assume that because lightning strike it's going to be safe in that spot. That's not a thing. And let's put your chats up here on the screen, okay? Let's put your chats up here. I see there's quite a few comments coming in here. I'm going to scroll the comments real quick. If you want to see yourself typing stuff, now's the time to do it over here. At the Smash News Network, least busted name in news here. And we're getting a severe thunderstorm here. We hope we allow our connection to stay connected. Because we wouldn't want the stupid huddled masses unable to read a science paper or my emails to be left without this important coverage about the COVID. Anyway, I liken this stuff to, let's say, what if the same company that makes clubs, let's say the same company that makes billy clubs also makes ice packs, right? Does that incentivize more people to hit each other with billy clubs so they can buy ice packs? Is that how it works? Let's see. What if we could What if we could engineer floods and cause them to happen on purpose? Should we also start a kayak manufacturer at the same time? These could be great business ideas if they're not pure evil. Let me think. What else could we do? Could we, I don't know, start wars and then sell weapons to both sides? Could that be a thing? Yeah. I wonder if that's ever been done. Just thinking. Just spitballing here. I wonder if that's ever happened. What about this one? What if we took viruses that existed in nature and made them more transmissible to humans in order to do valuable gain-of-function research, which is probably a smart idea because viruses are very valuable, and then be irresponsible enough to circumvent the U.S. system of checks and balances and safeties and conduct the research for millions of dollars funded by taxpayers in China. Just, you see how those things you see the way they all kind of come together, folks. And that's what you got to do. You got to do what's called news distillation. Otherwise, you may watch CNN, they won't distill the news, they'll muddy the waters. So, by the way, you should definitely follow us on Twitter if you don't. We put up exclusive content on the regs on Twitter, twitter.com/smAsho. Here's some of the recent posts, some of the recent antics. Sending some greeting cards. Don't worry, folks, we didn't send anybody any bouquets of black flowers. We didn't send any black rose bouquets to anybody. And we didn't send any bukkake videos to anybody. So, you're welcome. And allow me to scroll the Twitter page here. I thought I'd be able to just slow scroll it. There we go. So here are some of the posts you could see on our Twitter page. And we try not to follow that many accounts because we've only got 150 some followers. And really, there's not that much going on over there. It's pretty dead these days. Why? Because of fools who get themselves banned and fools who do the banning. Each side is practically as insane as the other side. And by the way, thanks to Geraldo Rivera for keeping us so safe with his daily vaccination posts. Alarming collapse of stock markets yesterday shows how economic recovery post-COVID is fragile and moody. One thing for sure, last thing we need is another widespread outbreak. Are you ready for the next case-demic? Oh my God, there's going to be cases. There's going to be cases upon cases. There's going to be briefcases with other briefcases inside them, like Russian nesting dolls. And there's just going to be a case within a case. It's going to be like Pac-Man eating another Pac-Man eating another Pac-Man. It's going to be scared. It's going to be bonkers. It's going to be berserk. And that brings me to my next point. Let's bring back the word berserk. Remember the 1980s Atari 2600 game, Berserk, where you shoot a bunch of robots in a maze? Like combat, but you're on foot and you're fighting evil robots? Berserk. That is a word that does not stink. Stink waves, folks. Stink waves. Let's have a round of applause for the stink waves. Ah, yes, my super breath has dispelled the waves of stink. All right, so berserk, that needs to be a term. Let's actually look it up here real quick. M-W. M-W. M-W.com is Merriam-Webster. When you have to look up a word, head to M-W.com. It means crazy, folks. It means it's derived from an ancient Scandinavian warrior frenzied in battle and held to be invulnerable. Sinister ravings of an imagination gone berserk. Oh, that's the best. That's the best usage. Sinister ravings of an imagination gone berserk. That's just fantastic. I love that. Oh man. All right. So Let's see what else is going on here before we go to some yellow dog journalists. Do you know what a yellow dog journalist is, folks? Yellow dog journalists are journalists who just cover stuff that other journalists cover. It's the most god-awful, boring pile of BS. Like, it's a thing. Just, it's icky. It's icky. That's what it is. And let's continue on. Oh, man. The Mountain Dew Major Melon. Good gond. Oh, my God. It's got HFCS. I know, folks. HFCS. It sucks. It stands for high fructose corn syrup, if you're wondering. Yes, it's making me grow a second spine. Because one wasn't enough. I don't know what is going on with my scrolling lately. I may have to hurl my mouse out of the window. So here we're just scrolling the headlines here on Zero Hedge. And geez, this sounds just fascinating. And we're going to go straight from here to cnbc.com/markets. But check this out. Oh, this is sweet. This is freaking sweet right here. Oh, yes. Let's get me off the screen and get these douche faces on the screen. Because let's talk about douche faces and Bitcoin. Here at the Smash News Network, least busted name in news, we're not real big on douche faces. Billionaire douche face oligarchs who think that they are just in control of the world, and indeed in many ways are in control of the world, especially because of the way things like news are disseminated. So, now, I didn't get mad at Elon because Elon was attempting to manipulate the price of Bitcoin. Or I should say, was manipulating the price of Bitcoin. Because he certainly did so. And so all the people that demonized Elon because he caused Bitcoin to crash, he probably did it intentionally to buy in more. I don't know. But for whatever reason, I already disliked Elon by then because he'd been manipulating the price of Tesla stock by telling lies about it, like the Tesla truck. Remember that debacle? There were countless other debacles, and I tend to follow financial stuff. Now, that said, just drawing a window on this guy's forehead here, because he's essentially the Charles Manson of censorship. So, the thing about Twitter is that Twitter is not utterly clunky like Facebook. Now, here at the Smash News Network, the Smash News Network isn't particularly clunky at all because we know what to do and what not to do. So MySpace was better than Facebook has ever gotten, really. We're thinking about going back to MySpace. No, seriously. Twitter is a much more elegant set of software than Facebook. Facebook is so clunky that it barely functions. Twitter is a little bit more believable in its propaganda. So now, of course, YouTube and Facebook and Twitter all attempt to advance propaganda and misinformation. It's 100% clear. I mean, anybody who thinks that there's no misinformation being intentionally spread by Google, Facebook, and Twitter. I mean, I can't see how. I can't say for certain that misinformation is being promoted. You know why? Because I can't see the code. Nobody can see the code. And ultimately, what all three of those companies ought to do is they ought to divulge what is in their algorithms. Because if they divulge what is in their algorithms, or if they release clear community guidelines, everybody will simply follow the guidelines. If I have to never drop an F-bomb, that's perfectly fine. The rules as they are now, folks, if you're not a content creator and you're watching this video, the rules right now are berserk. And part of the reason that they're berserk is because of this douche face. If I were Jack Dorsey, I would sell all of my Twitter stock and I would move to Seychelles along with all of my assets. That's all I'll say. That's all I'll say. He only has one color makeup, royal purple. He even dyed his vagrant-looking beard and mustache. Look at that. He's a legit clown, folks. There we go. And of course, some big eyebrows for Jack here. What a douche face. Complete douche face. Also, Teslas run over people, by the way. The self-driving Teslas, they run people over. Just saying. It's all too true. And is Tesla accountable? Nope. No, they're not. All right, so I don't care what those two douche faces are saying about crypto. They're clearly trying to manipulate financial markets and indeed their own share price of their own companies. So let's move on here. And we'll look and see what's been going on. Oh, gee, suddenly Bitcoin has spiked. Because 5 minutes ago, Elon and, Bitcoin is up $2,400 per Bitcoin. There you go. Is that what we call intentional manipulation of financial markets? It's 100%. 100%. And what you got to ask yourself is, are there companies invested in crypto? Pretty sure Tesla's still invested in Bitcoin, even though they've stopped accepting it as a mode of payment. I don't know if you realize that or not. Anyway, let's look at the Coinbase chart here for Bitcoin. And check out the one-day chart. It is up 8% on the day. That is a large gain, even in terms of a stock. And we'll check Ethereum also. What's going on with Ethereum? Here's Ethereum on Coinmetrics. By the way, I prefer Coinbase because I trade on Coinbase. It really doesn't matter which exchange you use. Just keep in mind the volume data can be funky because of reporting frequency and things like that. So Ethereum up over 11% on the day. And our patrons may have just heard some rumblings about some trades occurring. Lastly, let's check on Stellar Lumens. Here's Stellar Lumens on Coinmetrics Exchange. And it's at 23 cents here. And I own a small token investment in Stellar Lumens. I also own a few other relatively small cryptocurrencies. This is actually the third largest on Coinbase. I think the market cap is like around 6 billion right now on this. I'm not going to look it up because plenty of more things to talk about. So here you can see all the major indices up right now after a crazy down day. So some of those downward moves replaced the Dow up 246, NASDAQ up 94. Netflix, one of the big losers of the day. Also Seagate Technologies, I believe that's a hard drive manufacturer. Chipotle up 12.6%. As the nation opens back up, I'm surprised Fauci's not personally welding the doors shut at Chipotle's. Bonds are all up. It looks like a sell-off in the bond market. Oil at $70 a barrel. And thanks to Joe Biden for natural gas being $3.94. Gold down $8.50 an ounce. Currently just over $1,800 an ounce there. Looks like a support level for gold, perhaps. around $1,800 per ounce. How about silver? Silver's still looking like a bargain here. It's only $25.26 per ounce. And it's up a tiny bit on the day. It's up a quarter or so. 25.26 on silver. All right. And what else is new and exciting, folks? We're going to go to one of those yellow dog journalists we talked about. Let's go to, I don't think we've ever actually covered this one. We're going to actually go to a news source that I don't think we've ever covered on the channel. So let's put on our safety belts here and see what kind of insanity this will be. And you may like it, you may dislike it. I don't know. I'm going to check the comments in a moment here. Thanks to everybody who's leaving comments. Cheers. We'll get to those in just a minute and display them on the screen. First, the homepage of Are You Ready? Is it going to look like Mad Max Beyond Thunderdome? Brace yourself because it's Nancy Pelosi. Pelosi bars Trump allies from January 6th probe. GOP may boycott. Oh my God, there's probably bodies piling up in the streets as a result of this. Holy cripes. Criminy cripes. Criminy cripes of a Jesus Gond. Pelosi bars Trump's allies. Oh my God. And check it out. They actually have it. Fauci and Paul clash on virus origins. Trade charges of lying. Yes. And look at Fauci looking like a complete crazy person here. Looking like a complete lunatic. Pointing toward Rand Paul, perhaps, if this is even from the testimony in question. That's a great image. I think I'm going to have to save that one. Oh, yeah. We're saving that one for posterity, folks. I've become a huge fan of Fauci. And speaking of which, let's take a little intermission, and I'll play a little music video for you here. We just shared it as a community post because we heart Fauci so doggone much. So this is a tribute to Fauci and to everybody's favorite governor, who was not in trouble after causing the deaths of tens of thousands of people in nursing homes. No. That didn't do anything to him. Apparently, diddling the staff didn't do anything either, because I'm pretty sure he's still governor. So this one goes out to Andrew Cuomo and Dr. Fauci, who are essentially the modern-day De Niro and Pacino, but with COVID, because, yeah.
And that's the reason why you see people either double masking, but it's not providing the perfect protection that people think. No reason to be walking around with a mask. People should not be walking around with masks. You're sure of it? To put us together, we're like the modern day De Niro and Pacino. Shut up, Fauci! Fauci, shut up! Yeah! Shut up, Fauci! Fauci, shut up! Fauci came from a putrid, grotesque side of town. And when he commits fraud, we think he should be shut down. Fauci, we're no longer listening to you. Your cure's worse than the disease, plus you swore an oath too. And so we say now, shut up, Fauci. Fauci, shut up. Yeah, yeah. Shut up, Fauci. Fauci, shut up. Fauci wears a red mask, yeah, says you should wear too. We're uninterested
fraud you spew. Fauci, when I see you daily on the news shows, you're a fraudster, yeah, and now everyone knows. And so we request, shut up, Fauci. Fauci, shut up. Yeah, 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 yeah. Shut up, Fauci. Fauci, shut up. Yeah. Shut up, Fauci. Fauci, shut up. Yeah. Shut up, Fauci. Fauci, shut up.
Which one do you want to pick? I love them both. One or the other. If I say one, I don't want to hurt the feelings of the other. Yeah. Who's the politician?
Yeah, so we had to put a little tribute to Fauci out. That's a few months old already there, that video. If you haven't seen that, you can find it in our playlist, youtube.com/smashamash/playlists. And some other original and some other semi-original music in there as well. Perhaps have a look if you haven't done so. And let's get back to news stories here. And if you've got any you'd like us to cover, just leave us a comment. We'll get to your comments here momentarily. All right, let's check another complete disaster of a quote news and quote organization. I like always looking at the pathetic journalism of CBS. Let's see what's on their homepage here. And once again, I would note this giant applet they have up top. Look at this thing. It's a monstrosity. I don't know if people are usually viewing this on a jumbotron in the world of in CBS's mind or what the deal is, but it looks like a disaster. A disaster of epic proportions, possibly from hell. And yes, oh great. So the Texas Democrats, they took COVID and they took COVID out of the state and they went and infected other parts of the country. Thank you, Texas Democrats. Well done. You're personal super spreaders. Well done. Because why do your job when you can spread disease? I'm pretty sure that's why they hired you. So, yeah, congratulations. Congratulations, Texas Democrats. And so we have that on the screen. There we go. There are our chats again. And thanks everybody leaving comments. We'll let that scroll. So the Democrats, they haven't gone back to Texas yet. Are they? They've gone to Washington, D.C. to fight. And when I say fight, I mean avoid responsibility, because accountability for thee, but not for me, said every useless bureaucrat in the history of mankind. All right, so let's see what their top headlines are here. This is just an ad for their CBS Live. Look at that monstrosity. That is a little applet there at the top of their page. Ouch. Deadly flash floods in Colorado leave one dead. Please don't drive across moving water if you don't know how deep it is. It only has to be about hub deep to sweep your vehicle away, especially in mountainous areas. Here's the latest news. McCarthy pulls all Republicans from January 6th panel. Ah, yes, because you wouldn't want to have a bipartisan investigation. You'd want to have it all on one side, which claims that the U.S. government was practically overthrown. Oh, noes. Or, of course, as Joe Biden says, the Second Amendment has, since it was passed, the Second Amendment has always limited what kind of people can buy guns and what kind of guns people can buy. Fortunately, no one was carrying any guns during the, quote, insurrection, end quote. Nobody went out and just bought a cannon, because if they would have, we would have needed to launch F-15s and nuclear weapons. Because buying cannons is just because you can purchase an Apache gunship does not mean that your howitzer shouldn't be regulated. If you're firing hollow points out of your howitzer, that could be very dangerous. So we prefer only fully jacketed rounds from howitzers, especially 110 millimeters and larger. Because if you fire howitzers with hollow point ammunition, we'll be forced to launch nuclear weapons at you and scramble F-15s. The finest, statistically speaking, air superiority aircraft ever built, which has never lost a dogfight. Sure, you can go out and buy an F-16, but can you buy the radar array of the F-15 to face it with AMRAAM rockets? I don't think so. Just step out on your porch with a double-barrel shotgun. Because if your government... I gotta stop. I have to stop doing that. It's too easy, and it's low-hanging fruit. Okay, it's low-hanging fruit. And speaking of low-hanging fruit, oh my God, what's up with you, COVID? COVID, I heard that it turns out that you are cheap in plastic and made in China. What do you have to say about that? COVID is always so shy on camera. I don't know. Something with the audio. COVID never wants to talk. COVID wants to just hover above my head like the sword of Damocles. Well, COVID, you're defacing our Smash News Network logo here. Why don't you just take up all of our time? Why don't you take up all of our time and all of our energy? We won't do anything. We'll just allow you to sort of hang above our head like the sword of Damocles until that you just take up all of space. And then maybe hey, come on. You are cramping my style, COVID. You cheap Chinese plastic virus, okay? Cheap and Chinese, based on U.S. technology. You're just like those stolen Callaway golf clubs, those knockoff Callaway golf clubs, and the pet food that's got a bunch of lead in it, okay? You cheap and Chinese and plastic, okay? All right, so let's look at some more news stories here. We'll go to another news source. I'm sure all of our viewers will love this one as well. We'll go to HuffPost.com. Yes, I know that's certainly a crowd favorite. And now I think I've got too much stuff on the screen. Oh my God, it's a train wreck here. COVID, I'm going to have to ask you to please excuse our technical difficulties. COVID, don't make me scare you away. Why are you so close to the camera anyway? Yeah, step back. Step back a little bit. You're cheap and Chinese is what you are, COVID. Cheap China plastic. Cheap China plastic. China. From China. China. Not supposed to call it the China virus because that's racist. Okay. Oh, COVID, that's so cute. I like the way the Made in China thing is just right here. Ah, that's perfect. All right, cool. Since it's just going to stay there forever, I'm just going to completely ignore it. And we'll go back to the HuffPost. Yes, HuffPost.com. You should all read it if you don't read it. And don't worry, folks, we're going to go to a more reputable news source here just after this. Let's see okay, so HuffPost got the same main headline, a.k.a. Yellow Dog Journalism. Does anybody do their own work? Does anybody do their own job? Does anybody know how to write software? Big tech. Who's the world's largest software manufacturer? Would it be Google? Does your Google software work? Google? Google? Did you Google your Google until you got googly-eyed because your software doesn't work? Well, I certainly noticed. And they've got the exact same headlines here. Some swimmers sent home early from Tokyo after Olympic-sized blunder. That sounds like a story to cover. Now, I'm neutral on the Olympics. I neither like them nor hate them, which makes me neutral, I guess. And nowadays, that might be an extremist view. So 6 swimmers to represent Poland were sent home. What? After their national federation picked too many athletes by mistake. Well, Poland, you're really living up to your reputation there. Not knowing how to count. Well done. Well done. And let's go to another news source here, since I'm on a roll. I'm on a lull roll. It's a roll of lulls. All right, COVID. I'm getting a little bit sick. COVID here at the Smash News Network, least busted name in news. We're not a fan of. At least move up. That's a little better. That's it. I've had enough of you. You got to go, COVID. All right. Later. Noob. Later, noob. Such a noob. Complete noob. A noob-faced noob. All right. Here's another news source. DailyWire.com. I heard Facebook was censoring them. So here we are featuring them. Because as if it's going to make a dent in anything. Anyway, McCarthy yanks GOP members off Pelosi's January 6th committee. Is the headline there. Now, I can't accuse Ben Shapiro of being a yellow dog journalist. Ben Shapiro's the real deal. And if you don't like him, you're probably mad that he's smarter than you are. Just kidding, folks. I'm sure none of our viewers are less intelligent than Ben Shapiro, the editor-at-large of Daily Wire. Just keep in mind that, by definition, half of the population of humans are, again, by definition, of below-average intelligence. Anyway, since our title has a certain theme going, here's a story from today. According to Senator Rand Paul from Kentucky, Fauci is an example of elitist left who think the common man is too stupid to make own decisions. Now, I would tend to agree. As we started out talking about the original Fauci lies, the ones about the masks, when he said people shouldn't be walking around with masks. There's no masks. There's no reason to be wearing masks. Why are you walking around with masks on? They're not going to offer you the perfect protection that you think that they do over there. What a piece of scum. I mean, how about the Hippocratic Oath? Do no harm. How about the hypocritical oath? Do unto others before they do unto you. No, wait, that's not a thing. All right, seriously, folks. From this, I have one more thing to say. Forgive, remember, hold accountable. You got that? Forgive, remember, hold accountable. Yesteryear was 2020, the year of clarity. This year is 2021, the year of accountability. And I can't wait to see some. It's still been lacking. sorely, sorely lacking in the year 2021. It's been lacking, and certain people who are overpaid and unable to do their own jobs are hacking your life. Piece by piece, and attempting to hack your rights, right by right. By the way, the reason laws are made is to withstand a crisis, not to create a crisis. It is up to all Americans to hold people accountable. Because guess what? Every one of you out there needs to Mansa. And what I mean by Mansa is make America not suck again. If you've noticed, it's been a little on the sucky side, largely because of the pathetic and infantile response to COVID. That's why I'm wearing the shirt. And it's time to break out another advertisement here. Oh yeah, you can buy the shirt. But let me show you something even edgier here. So, yes, Fauci committed fraud. If you'd like the Fauci fraud miniskirt, it's only $29.49 right now. It could be on sale, I don't know. But check it out. The Fauci fraud miniskirt. I don't know if that's not horrifying, I don't know what is. I give you the Fauci fraud miniskirt. Because we don't just make memes, we make memes into products. Lots of products. All right, so I just wanted to briefly show you this other one here. One of the other ones here. Hell, Dimension of the Year. So, interestingly enough, last year, 2020 Year of Clarity, had a contest for the Dimension of the Year, and guess what was unanimously voted? Hell. Yes. You'd think heaven, or maybe the prime material plane of existence or something like that, would be the unanimously voted Dimension of the Year, but it turns out that it was hell. So that's quite a dastardly, dim-witted douchebaggery occurring last year, which inspired us to make this commemorative Dimension of the Year take on the Time magazine cover, yes. Featuring a split personality, or an empty suit, and one full of, oh geez, I'm not even going to go there. A fully horrifying year, though. Oh look, it looks like Kamala's behind bars. Don't worry, folks. Kamala's not behind bars. Kamala's probably immune to committing felonies. Ooh, check out the throw pillow. That's pretty sweet. I may have to pick one of those up. The Dimension of the Year, hell, throw pillow. That's our featured item for this segment. And we'll check out some more news stories here. Let's see what's going on AccuWeather.com. Since we started out with weather, let's return before we close this mother out. By the way, there's a smoke advisory going on. Very low air quality. Not quite as bad as it was last night, but places like New York and Philly, seeing some bad news in terms of air quality. So here we are on AccuWeather.com, and let's see what's going on their news site. And just bear with me a minute. We are streaming live here. News and features. And a perfect story there, how the bootleg fire is generating its own weather. So I'll let some visual imagery play for you here, and I won't play the audio because that is how you avoid copyright strikes, folks. So we have no idea what this guy's talking about. He's saying, hey, the fire over there, eh? It's pretty big fire, eh? And if you're down in Pennsylvania, it might smell like burning wood, eh? Man, it looks like a high plains. And here's a plane which is going to, it's dropping tomato powder. Tomato powder has been recently started to be used as a fire suppressant. Tomato powder, yes. Just fill up a cargo hold on a giant plane with tomato powder and rain it down. That fire will be, well, it'll be smelling like sun-dried tomatoes in no time. Anyway, there's some of that tomato powder you can see there. Apparently lycopene. Lycopene is a really good fire suppressant. So, anyway, yowzers, check out that photo. That is epic. And we've been having some pretty spectacular sunrises and sunsets here in Pennsylvania as a result of all the... We're having orange skies. Yes, orange skies. And let me scroll your chats here again, folks. And thanks, everybody, for commenting. We will have to get this thing wrapped up shortly here. I guess I'll close things out with a bang and show some solar stuff, as I haven't looked up any solar stuff for a while. So here's a little insight into what it looks like when I'm doing so. Let's see. Let's check out stereo A first. We're going to go back 50 frames. Also, Mercury showing up here on stereo A. And if you're a new viewer, you don't know where stereo A is, it's located here at Lagrange point 5, the equilibrium gravitational point trailing the Earth as Earth orbits in this direction. From stereo A, Earth is off to your right. And that's the coronagraph from there. There was a coronal mass ejection on the opposite side of the sun from the perspective of stereo A. So more headed out toward Mercury. And you can actually see it on the LASCO. Let's look at it on the C3 as we look at the C2 on this morning's daily space weather video. And we'll go back the same number of frames here. 50 frames, please. And you're going to see a coronal mass ejection coming out this way. Not toward Earth, apparently. Although this is my first time looking at it in the past few hours. I don't really see any kind of halo, do you? Looks like it's all headed west to me. And that would be consistent with what we're seeing from stereo A. The LASCO C3 is located here at Lagrangian point 1. And let's bring up some images of the sun itself. Just today's data. So 304 angstroms ionized helium is good at showing filaments. We've got an SDO calibration maneuver there, shaking things up, so to speak. And you can see some big prominences down here. Lots of sunspots on the Earth-facing portion of the solar disk. Let's look at high-res views before we close out the video here. So here's the latest intensitygram. Here's the latest magnetogram. That sunspot is getting bigger. That's 2842. The rest of the numbers I don't remember. So that's a beta-class sunspot. That one's gotten bigger as well. There's another one rising, possibly down here. This is a huge plage right here. And I see Umbra, so that's going to be another named sunspot most likely. We'll have 6 named sunspot groups. That's another beta-class sunspot. And that's another beta-class sunspot. They're all of significant size. You can see the opposite fields. And look at how large the field is on this one. It looks quite well defined as well. If there's a trailing umbra there, And there might well be, as there's a lot of activity coming out of that. There is significant possibility of M and even X-class flares at this point. Lots of significant sunspots here. Anyway, we're going to play you one more musical ditty, display the chats, and close this thing out. This one's called Tilt-A-Whirl. I thought that was a pretty appropriate song there. That one's called Tilt-A-Whirl. And that's about it, folks. Thanks for tuning in to our weekly Wednesday smAsho stream. I demand accountability. What about you? We'll see you next time here at Smash News Network. Least busted. Naming news.